Good evening, my beautiful people. Thank you for joining me on the Foul Playland. As always, I'm your foul player. Could you get me a chapstick too and plug this in? Yeah. But I wanted to talk about the Tank Davis situation, the aftermath of the fight. Even though it's a late assessment of the fight, but the fight's not my main point of contention. If anything, the fact that the fight was on pay-per-view, I mean, might be like my biggest point of contention or my biggest point to expound upon in this video. I'm in my guest room. I hate doing videos, man, but everything else is doing work to it. But also, by me titling this video, "Who is Tank Davis?" It's not me shading Tank Davis. I mean, like I'm getting some people that come into my comment section and get a little bit flustered, if you will, like because I have any critique of Tank Davis, or if I make a Tank Davis video, I'm not shading him. And like Tank Davis is a premier boxer. I mean, like especially at his age. I mean, he's right at that threshold where he's still young. Hey, peace, Tyrone. He's right at that threshold where he's still a youth in my eyes. I'm gonna put the link out in the joint too, Tyrone, if you want to jump on. But like this is not a me being critical of Tank Davis, like or his talent. I think pound for pound, like I mean, like I'm the biggest Bud guy. Like I'm not like the biggest like that, but I like Bud Crawford a lot more than I do Errol Spence, as far as talent and like the fact that he's being avoided, if you will. But pound for pound, I think the better talent is Tank Davis. If he could keep his weight down, Tank Davis is going to be real hard to stop in this game. So as far as me not appreciating his talent, that's a lost case with me, because I think that Tank Davis's talent is superb. I think he's a superior talent. So it's not me shading him one iota. I've been a real big fan of Tank Davis. Probably before a lot of people heard of him. But my main intention of this video is that I do see some fuckery coming down the pipe, if you will. The fact of the matter is, as I just mentioned earlier, we had to pay for this Tank Davis fight. And regardless of what it was, it seems like, and this is coming from Tank Davis's mouth, that they expect to be fighting pay-per-view for the duration of their career. By all means, go for it. You have a market, the market's there, and it's you really can't sell people on a fight if the fight's not good. But if you put up quality shit all the time and you want to put it on pay-per-view, much success. God bless you. I hope you get paid a substantial amount, and that's the end of it, really. But when you are shooting down the prospects of fighting other people, like because they haven't accomplished enough, or this is Tank Davis's team that's doing such, putting the onus on the fact that Tank Davis's competition could be found within the dredges of PBC, and Mayweather actually putting it out there to the world that PBC and Mayweather Promotions are all quote unquote one family. You wonder, like, what is it that they're gonna charge people to watch? Like, what matches could PBC give us to back up the claim that Tank Davis is a pay-per-view fighter, just to put good product out there. Who are you gonna put up? Like, I mean, I know of one fight that the world would love to see, and I too would love to see, and that's Gary Russell Jr. I mean, they did mention that he's gonna be fighting at 130 to 140. I mean, that's more Canelo shit in my eyes. Like, you know, the fact that you don't stay and dominate one weight, because or have a built-in excuse. Like right now, if he's at 140, and I think he could, like Tyrone stated in the chat that Tank beats everyone at 140. I think a 12-up fight is with Lomachenko, possibly, and that's a good possibility. Tank could campaign at 140. I mean, for the next 2 or 3 years and dominate and build them up that way. I mean, there's a lot of fights at 140, but the fact that, like, you know, one, you're claiming that the PBC is going to be like the talent pool from which we draw off Tank Davis's competition in the near future, at least. I mean, they didn't say anything about down the line, you know, we'll do this, this, and that, like, or differently, you know. So you got the prospect of having to pick from a very limited talent pool at the PBC in these weights. And also, you come up with whoever name. I mean, you want to come up with Gary Russell Jr.? I come up with Gary Russell Jr. But is Gary Russell Jr. the fight that we need to see now from Tank Davis? I mean, like, you know, it would be a nice fight. But shit, I mean, Teofimo Lopez is at that weight. He's there for you. In and around the 135 or 140, I mean, like, you know, throw it up. Lomachenko's there in that weight threshold. Throw it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the fact that, like, not only are you limiting us in, and also Josh Taylor's there, Regis Prograis. I mean, like, you know, countless names, like, and these are all way better fights than Gary Russell Jr. I mean, I love Gary Russell Jr., but I mean, that fight was there for the making a year ago and nothing happened. I mean, like, we could all move on that there's better fights in the world, and I just named 5 of them probably for Tank Davis than anything that the PBC has to offer. Yeah, is Top Rank gonna try to come to the table and make something happen? Honestly, with the way that things are so divided and fractionalized in boxing, probably not. I mean, at the very least, you could expect contentious negotiations if there are any. But when they're coming off from the rip, saying that, you know, Tank Davis's opponents are going to come from PBC from 130 to 140. I mean, to keep that pay-per-view vibe going, I mean, who's he going to fight? Leo Santa Cruz rematch? I don't want to see that shit. I really don't want to see Gary Russell Jr., particularly if I got to pay. That should be the third fight of Gary Russell Jr. year, like, or Gary Russell Jr. An entire year of work. Maybe if you throw in a, like, Gary Russell Jr. Fight for Tank Davis, that'd be cool if Tank Davis did that 2 fights plus that one. I mean, to keep the pay-per-view momentum going, particularly. But, you know, when you tell me that you want to charge me pay-per-view for this guys that fighting at weights that are really not the top billing, and then you're, like, also, like, making it harder, like, by saying that all that competition is coming from just the PBC, I think it's a little bit of a ripoff. I think that boxing fans should make it to where the promotion is never the excuse. I mean, like, you know, because right now, like, PBC and Top Rank are going to fight with Fury and Wilder. It wasn't no long, drawn-out, contentious, you know, negotiation, seemingly. Like, once the courts mandated that the Wilder fight couldn't be avoided, I mean, the fight got done pretty fast. Maybe there was a deal in place. Who knows? But there's not like a embargo happening like with the Errol Spence Bud Crawford situation, where, like, a lot of fans will say, "Oh, well, like, you know, it's hard to negotiate with Bob Arum," but Bob Arum just negotiated a fight with Wilder, who's the PBC's biggest draw. Period. You know, it's also like a lot of times in recent history, particularly, is that you see PBC building up that wall between other promotions before these long and contentious, like drawn out, not switching the side of the street, and I'm not gonna fight him because he's over there. Like that shit, like in recent history, has been lasting 3 years plus. Whenever like these embargoes are put in place, but even though they're not doing a big campaign about oh well, we're not doing this fight's not happening because this guy's promoted by such and such. A lot. I mean, PBC is not putting a lot of like PR out there, if you will, to back up that claim because PBC doesn't do a lot of PR in general. But a lot of times that these things do happen with non-willing to put a certain fighter to fight with fighters from across the street. Usually that first salvo historically in the past couple of years has come from the PBC. With me now, I have my brother, Tyrone Smith Boxing, the master of Maryland, the Sultan of Sudan. Tyrone, my friend. Tell the people where we can find you.
I don't even know if they have sultans over there. I don't think so. But yeah, man. I just love to call them Top Rank because I just have a bias against. The thing is, they don't come out and say they won't go over to the other side of the street, but they do with their actions. There's been more guys from PBC who have came over to Top Rank or end up having to fight Top Rank fighters than them coming over to here.
Yeah, I mean, well, I could agree with that notion. I mean, like, and Bob, like, you know, it sucks for me to take the devil's advocate position in defense of Bob Arum because Bob Arum is an asshole. Like, Bob Arum is a decades long, half a century long asshole. Like, I'll never like cap for any promoter. Like, they could all kiss my ass. Every promoter is stopping me from wanting to watch fights. Having said that, though, I think PBC has a bigger talent pool. So when you know, all these guys are slated to have or should be fighting twice a year, the fact that it doesn't happen with whoever, whether in-house or like across in the street, I mean, it should be a big concern for fans. You know, like, again, like, you know, I don't like, to me, I in this case, it's me picking out who I think is the principal or worst offender currently, like the last like 5 years per se. You know, and again, like, I mean, if PBC had all these guys fighting each other in-house, I mean, yeah, there's better fights that could happen, like with a cross promotion, like Top Rank or PBC or Matchroom or PBC. But if they were to like constantly give you fights within the same promotion with guys at or around the same weight, you know, I'd be 100% for it. But one, we're not getting a lot of fights from PBC or every other promotion. Boxing is slowing down in general. But then they also throw up these barricades of fights that we do want to see. I mean, like, and then want to charge us for it. And another thing too, like, why I have a little bit of a prejudice with PBC is in the sense that they're trying to charge for these fights, bro. Like, that's like sacrilege for a fighter to be charging at 140, and this is like a match that nobody wanted to see at 140. I mean, like, there could have been 19 better matches than this, but and you're charging me for it again. I'm not paying, like, and I'm pretty sure, like, you ain't. Surprise me, my friend Tyrone. Tell me if you paid for this match. I already know the answer. Yeah, he said absolutely not. Like, but you know, they're at the because look, peep game. Look what like Lomachenko, Nakatani, whatever his name is. Like, that fight was better than this fight. Like, it's not
about the same.
Yeah, they're about the same. But I don't think that Top Rank would ever like put their balls on the table and try to charge for a Lomachenko. Like, Lomachenko hasn't carried a pay-per-view. You know, no, and I don't overrate Lomachenko. You know, I think Lomachenko is crazy overrated. I think they're bending over backwards to try to make this Teofimo fight with him.
He needs that.
For the sake of Lomachenko.
He needs it.
Yeah. But
I think he wins that fight as well.
Who, Teofimo or Lomachenko?
Lomachenko.
I think there's a good chance that he does win. I'm going for Teofimo because he's from my neighborhood, but in spite of that though, like all these fights that happen on Top Rank, and I don't think that they're pay-per-view quality. No way. But there's a lot of fights that happen in Top Rank in that same recent history that are way better than the Leo Santa Cruz versus Tank Davis fight, than the Tank Davis versus Mario Barrios fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, and do I see that change? Though? Pardon me?
Like which ones?
Teofimo against Lomachenko.
Okay. Yes.
That I mean, could that scratch at pay-per-view quality?
Yeah, it could.
Yeah.
If not, yeah, it is. Go ahead. What's another one?
I'm not gonna say Teofimo Nakatani, but
no, hell no.
Yeah, but Nakatani's been about the business like since.
No, and I'll tell you why.
No, and it's not pay-per-view.
Nakatani in, they do it like they did with all those other guys they found from Africa. He's just from Japan. He was an undefeated fighter, unheralded, all of this stuff. He didn't get known until after the fight. We can't.
Nakatani, yeah, you're right.
After, right? We have to look at what he was before. Nobody knew who he was. So that was just a run of the mill fight on ESPN. That was.
But if how many rungs above run of the mill is Barrios and Tank Davis? You know what I'm saying? And Tank Davis is a star, bro. Like, I give it up to him.
Mario Barrios is definitely more known than he's definitely better than Nakatani, but
no, certainly, especially Nakatani at that point. But that's just me, like, coming off the head.
How many rungs above? Nothing that gets you out of your seat.
To me, like it wouldn't even be like, all right, per se, if Mario Barrios, just to explain it real quick, like if Nakatani or Claudio, like not Claudio, what's the African cat that Teofimo fought?
Comey.
Yeah, Comey.
Per se, Lopez is better than Tank versus Barrios for sure.
Yeah, or it's at the same level. To me, it's like it might be better. Yeah, you're right.
I think it's better.
But I don't see Top Rank having the goal at this stage. Shit changes to try to fight for charge for that fight.
My biggest thing with Top Rank, dude, is the commentary team, dude.
No, they're terrible.
Terrible. They're the worst. They're honestly, you got to be honest.
They passed the zone of late, especially
hands down. They're even worse than the zone.
Yeah, the zone was worse, but Top Rank is terrible. But it's a sell job though.
All they
I'm not gonna front.
Do is get in decent people. That's all they have to do, and people will like their fights more. They sell every shit fight. Like they've had
no. They sell every shit white or international fight. Like I'm not gonna front. Oh, they try to prop up the careers of every white or national fighter, like Inoue, and I think Inoue is the shit.
That guy was a bum,
like Tyson Fury, and I think all these guys are good, but like ESPN, Top Rank, they'll put every ounce of effort into hyper promoting these. I
want to see them. I want Top Rank destroyed only because of the commentary team.
Yeah, no, but as far as them going on PR for these fighters, I think it bleeds into the commentary, like in the fact that they tell the commentators probably outright, listen, don't fucking say anything negative and try to put 30 seconds or two every 3 rounds where you just talk positively about the guy that is our top dude, i.e. Lomachenko, mostly. Like they just
what are they going to say what are they going to say if Fury gets dropped multiple times?
I think Lomachenko losing is more of a blow to Top Rank, or was more of a blow than Fury even, because they didn't
I think so.
Huh?
I think so too.
Yeah, because they didn't put so much into Fury.
Switch on the pivot. They'll switch on the pivot because Lopez is a top rank fighter too. But if Wilder's not a top rank fighter, what do they do?
What do you mean? I'm sorry. Say it again.
They just switched on the pivot during the fight.
For which
They
fight?
went more for Lopez. When Lopez beat Lomachenko, they just switched on.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because he was a top ranked fighter too, but
Yeah.
Wilder's not a top ranked fighter.
Yeah, no, and Lopez is like kind of like their secondary product in that fight. Like the guy who, I mean, if you want to start siding with him, it's not like the worst sell in the world because he's younger and he has the gift of gab.
That's what they were thinking.
Yeah, but that to me is in a sense, like I don't blame him for doing that. I mean, leading up, I mean, in the aftermath though, all indications are that Lopez is not really happy at Top Rank currently.
No, he should just come over.
Yeah,
they should put something together over at PBC or
absolutely. Like yo, make like
Jamal,
give me Tank Davis, Lopez, and Teofimo today. I don't want to wait fucking till these motherfuckers go to 154 or some shit today, bro. Like fucking give me Lomachenko today. Like fucking if you want to say that Tank Davis is a bigger percentage getter than fucking Lomachenko, fuck it. Like just say like y'all fight him next, but fuck it. Teofimo did it. I want to do it too. Like fucking But let me read some of these comments though. Oh wait, and this is from Lala D. Oh wait, I keep forgetting that Gary Antoine Russell and Progress is at PBC. Okay, so PBC isn't as bad as I thought. I'm still not crazy about it though. Yeah, no, I feel you. Imagine if everyone went to PBC, it might work. Yeah, it might. I mean, but like currently, like PBC's not churning these out.
Things that like in-house. There's certain, but I do think also there are certain ones like Jamal doesn't make any money, dude. Jamal, nobody knows who Jamal Charlo is. Jamal is not all that. Jamal needs to move over to DAZN, and Eddie Hearn has been screaming for that. They'll pay him $7 million or $8 million or whatever. Just move over. I think a lot of these fighters are. I don't think most of these fighters are very bright at all. For me, whenever there's something intellectually or whatever it is, like I want to know a little bit about it. Let me learn. Like if I'm in a meeting to decide my future, I'm not gonna say let my manager handle that. I'm gonna let him handle most of it, but I'm gonna say, okay, get me into a meeting. Let's see what the deal is. Let them talk straight to the fighter. I don't want things hidden from me. I want to know exactly what's going on.
I want to have that conversation. Anybody that can make you more money.
All Eddie Hearn does now is put Wilder down whenever he gets a chance. But it wasn't like that before because he really wanted him. He wanted to sign him. But the other guys on Wilder's side, like Shelley and all those other dudes, were kind of a wall.
Yeah.
If I was Wilder, if Eddie Hearn's talking all this stuff with me, send me your number. Talk to me. Exactly. Let's get a meeting. Let's put something together.
Yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day, like Wilder, like in Wilder's case, I mean, I'll get to Jamal Charlo's like in a bit, but like if he should have said like all right, you're giving me 120 for 3 fights or 4 fights, whatever it was. What do you give me for 1 fight? No strings attached. Pick whoever the fuck you want. Like, I mean, it is like if AJ wants to avoid me and you got to fill it in with somebody else, then that's your loss, not mine. But you're bringing me, Wilder, over to your network. That's a fledgling network at best, with run by a new concept, which is app sports. I think that could have been a reasonable counteroffer. I mean, with Jamal Charlo, I mean, why not fucking go to to Matchroom on a fight-by-fight basis if you have to, or DAZN. Danny Jacobs against him, I mean, I'd fuck with it. That's a cool fight. To get an eventual Canelo match maybe, or Andrade next, I mean, I'll definitely fuck with it. That's the fight I want most. Fight Andrade and then fight Danny Jacobs as a feel-good fight, and then exert pressure on Canelo in a real sense. But these guys, and the thing is too, man, if I'm critical, again, I know the brothers are getting outside pressure against them historically in boxing, but you have to be able to build yourself a mechanism that could, in spite of all that outside pressure that's coming against the brothers in boxing, or the lack of assistance, i.e., how ESPN assist the reputation of a Lomachenko, the reputation of a Fury, the reputation of a Monster Inoue. You're not getting any of that by just throwing your hat into the fray, and that's not fair. Totally get it. You have my support in that effort, but to get past that mechanism, you fight fucking the best fights constantly. Do it three times a year. Is that too much to ask? Like for a young fighter like Tank Davis? But not only am I asking that, but the fact of the matter is that a lot of good fights are at Top Rank. And I also follow that up by saying a lot of great fights, i.e. no great fights, are really in-house at PBC. But when you're coming off the heels of beating a Mario Barrios for a watcher, or anybody else too, I threw the link in there if you want to jump in. But by building the barrier on the heels of beating Mario Barrios that nobody asked for, your promoter, who's fucking extremely annoying during that fight, and in Mayweather, comes out and says that Tank Davis is going to be fighting from only the people within the PBC pool. I got a problem with that. And I mean, Tank Davis, coming out of his mouth when he beat Leo Santa Cruz his last fight, he's also saying that now this proves that I'm a pay-per-view guy. No, the fight that you put up next tells me if I'm going to pay pay-per-view or not. And in fact, I put this exercise into use when I wasn't such a cheap fuck and I was paying for all these fights all the time. I never didn't buy a Mayweather pay-per-view. I bought every single Mayweather pay-per-view, except for when he fought Andre Berto. Andre Berto wasn't pay-per-view product. I wasn't going to pay, in spite of the fact that it was Mayweather's farewell tour. So I've actually put this exercise to use, or these standards to use, when I was paying for every fight. So, like, don't come into my commentary, like, after the fact and get all defensive because I'm criticizing Tank, because I'm exercising my standard across the board. If Teofimo fronts, Teofimo's from my neighborhood, then he'll get the reckoning from me. But, putting that statement out there, I'm not going to say it's an outright duck job, but it's setting me up, or it's making me anticipate that in the future, there might be a lot of fights that you're not going to take, and the built-in excuse is going to be there that they're at Top Rank or they're at Matchroom and we're at PBC and can't happen. What do you think about that, Ty? Before I let me read the comments real quick, and let me know what you think about that, Tyrone. But Watcher, thanks for coming through. Salute. Lala D says I went to the Mayweather Berto fight.
Sorry to hear that.
Don't laugh at me. Yeah. Woo. If you need counseling, let me know. Salute, Watcher. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna front. I did want to order it because I knew it was gonna be Mayweather's possibly last fight. So I mean, like, just to watch to send off a guy that I watched every one of his fights. How many parties did I have for Mayweather at the cribs? And I bought a lot of other pay-per-views at that time too. But I did want to watch that last pay-per-view because, it's kind of like a tradition that is lost, or like that I'm not going to be able to watch my guy for a while, and salute to you on your way out. But Berto wasn't it. Come on. AB should have been that fight. That should have been cool. But better than Berto. And AB wasn't like my number 5 candidate either. I could have picked 20 other fights that I would have wanted Mayweather to fight. But Berto was probably in the not even top 40. But let me know what you think, Tyrone. I'm sorry.
It's like, well, I don't like the fact that they came out and said only in at PBC. I do not like Top Rank at all. I don't like the commentary team. I don't like Bob Arum. There's a lot of things I hate about them, and the thing that needs to happen instead is just to come over the table, like they did with Wilder Fury, right? Now, a lot of things I would change. I feel ESPN had too much control. If you notice that cross promotion, and they'll have it again
with Wilder Fury 1 or 2.
Not Wilder Fury 1, but Wilder Fury 2.
I see.
With the event and the commentary team and everything else.
Yeah, and I mean, but who sets that up? Like, I mean, or who?
That's them. They were too loud.
No, I know Top Rank pushed for it, but if I push for something and you give it up, I mean, like that's on you for giving it up. Yeah, I mean, like to me, like
someone said, no, we're not doing this, but
no, and I think in that negotiation with somebody who I do give a fuck about, or who does follow the standard that I like in fighting, the best fights in Wilder, why cave in to the demands of Fury? Somebody who didn't beat you in that second fight. You're caving into the demands of Team Fury in essence, for no fucking reason. I mean, Fury and you fought to a draw. The most memorable part of that fight was the fact that you had Fury on his ass. Understood. So you're supposed to fight next. That doesn't happen because of Team Fury. Fury fights 2 bags of shit like in the meantime, and then you're caving into him as far as in negotiation or in promotion. It's not. I mean, if you were advocating for Wilder in that promotion, Tyrone or Watcher or Lala D, you wouldn't let that go down. How is it that PBC, like seasoned negotiators that run the board as far as boxing goes, let that happen to their principal talent? Wilder is the biggest draw in boxing outside of Canelo, outside of AJ. Wilder's in that mix. Wilder's bigger than Fury. How is it that you, PBC, having this jewel within your possession, lets it get tarnished? But with us now too. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think it's a money thing. It's a money thing.
I want you to explain that. But let me introduce our next guest onto the show. But keep that point in mind. With us now, we have Watcher. Like Watcher, tell the people where we can find you, and thank you for coming through.
Good morning or good evening to you guys. Just put and watch a boxing, man. Because if you put and watch them, you're gonna have the freaking that freaking hacker channel's name or whatever come up on YouTube. So just freaking put and watch a boxing. That's where you can find me on YouTube. Thanks, guys, for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for coming through again. But Tyrone, could you explain the money thing a little bit?
It's a money thing. It's a money thing because if they really believe in Wild, like making a lot of money off of these fights, right? Wilder Fury or Wilder Fury 1, they would push hard. Listen, there would not be Andre Ward, Joe Tessitore, and all those guys sitting at the table. Or things like them picking the venue for the weigh-in and them having the promotional photos and their sponsors. That would not be going down. But I think they knew what type of money they were going to get on this and said, whatever, let Top Rank take the hit.
Yeah,
That's Top Rank is always complaining about losing money.
No, and also, too, I mean, at the end of the day, you don't see a lot of channels, in spite of the fact that there's a lot of channels that hate Wilder, that hate everything to do with PBC. You don't see them becoming hyper defensive of one promotion, besides the Matchroom Dick Riders. You don't see that other or you don't see Top Rank channels.
Right.
Maybe you have channels that are sympathetic to Top Rank or that are getting a little bit of payola from Top Rank that are really capping for them like that. But PBC is a bigger operation. I mean, how how do you let these people gain an inch on you? But then you're very blasé about Wilder, like in this negotiation with Fury, and but when it comes to like you not trying to like make a match across the street, I mean that just doesn't happen because there's some grand plan, at play, and a lot of channels will tell you, oh well, that's not happening because down the line eventually, Tank Davis is going to become this big star, so, and that's the plan of the PBC. I think PBC just has a lot of talent in their barn. They are going to get big fights just based on the fact that there's a lot of talent there and less elsewhere. But when it makes it seem like there's this grand plan of domination of the boxing spectrum. The fact that you have your best guy out there taking a loss, in a sense, whether like it be like from the things you just mentioned, as far as not having control of the commentary, which is true. I mean, having your commentary run by ESPN Top Rank, it's a viper's nest. You're gonna have not one point of positivity if you're on the other side of that spectrum. If you're coming from across the street, and don't think you're gonna get any love from the Top Rank desk. That's true. That's historic. But why then like submit control in this case? Like in the
money. I think that's just a money thing.
It is. I mean, it's not like that you're gonna win or gain like much in giving up these concessions to somebody who you consider is your biggest rival in the world. You can't make Errol Spence, Bud Crawford because Top Rank are unapproachable and they're pieces of shit, which I agree. But like, why when you are locked into something, like Wilder and Fury, do you then submit to Top Rank in a really short, negotiation? It's not like a long drawn out thing like Errol Spence and Bud Crawford that's been happening for 4 years. This is a 2-month thing. Like you could have hammered it up 2 months. Yo, we got control of this, that, the third. Watcher, you have any thoughts on the subject? Oh, before I even go through, shout out to my brother Oliver Twist in the comment section, man. I appreciate you coming through. This is my homeboy out of Queens, and I've known him for many decades. Watcher, if you could, you have any thoughts on the subject or anything else?
Oh yeah, I kind of missed it because I came in a bit later. But you're talking about like you're talking about the PBC thing and the commentary and shit or whatever.
Yeah, I just don't know why they had ESPN had so much control of that promotion. Even
with Wilder and Fury.
Oh yeah, now I get you now. I get you. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Right? Like, for as powerful as people make them out to be, just you somehow just let it go. Yeah, we just gotta allow ESPN to essentially bash, because you said viper's nest, like you gotta get bit. There's gotta be some venom there. And I mean, freaking Andre Ward and all them guys did it today. On the freaking YouTube
I'm not
channel.
letting my guy
They
go
even had a
into
shot.
territory without backup.
They even had a shot at Fred from Barbershop. They said, "Oh, he did an interview with some YouTuber." That's freaking ridiculous. Like,
I'm not letting my guy go into enemy territory without backup. Period. Why am I going to send him on a mission like that?
They should just. They got to get their own schedule on it with the Goosens and
then the whole giving him till the 22nd. Why would they sign until February 22nd? Why was that fight? Why is the turnaround so short? That was 80 days. He just fought Ortiz. Fury literally spent a whole year doing nothing because he had easy fights. The Wallen fight was tough for him because he's not that good. But even then, that was in September. He had a whole time to relax.
Well,
rest.
I think LFL player said it best. He said, "You just fought 2 shitbags." Couldn't have said it better.
That's what I'm saying. This literal guy got the advantage before the fight and in the fight as well. Because on top of that, Wilder didn't come in right. He looked completely off as well. So, I mean, just think about stuff aligning. Now this third time, I think it just feels like they're the only thing different is the time. Wilder's had all this time to rest, finally get right, and he'll win this fight. But
We
fucking,
hope.
I'm confident about it. I really think he gets past this guy.
I'm gaining confidence, but I'm still not 100%.
No, I don't blame you, but I feel they're doing some of the same mistakes. Like why is what's his name? Why is Wilder getting sent in there, right? Why is ESPN? I feel like ESPN is controlling this again. Why?
Yeah, it is. And on top of that, too, I mean, I'm going to be a little frank. This Wilder Fury Part 3 fight, it's very, very, very shittily promoted. A lot of people don't even know what's happening. And my man Oliver Nunez just wrote Wilder got schooled. He did get schooled, and I mean,
well, it's very easy to get schooled when you can't move.
Oh, and also
to be
too,
honest, dude, I'm not interested when people say excuses. The same people who talk about other people making excuses are the ones who make excuses themselves in their life. They're usually DNBs, do nothings.
Yeah,
because things do happen.
And my boy Oliver also wrote Fury wins the third fight. Yeah, that's what I think too.
Say
man.
by knockout or some other bullshit like that.
See,
if you say he wins by decision and boxes his way,
I think he's definitely going to win by decision.
He can do that, and he can do that. He can do that. But my thing is, he's listened to the hype against his own advice. Fury knows what Fury in his heart thinks he should come in light and should box to make it a normal night for him. But he's listening to guys telling him to get bigger and get to 300 pounds and come forward because it worked last time. It's going to backfire. I swear to God. I'm telling you right now.
I mean, I'm hoping.
It's not going to work.
I'm hoping that this happens. I mean,
the way he wins this fight is if he boxes, but he's gotten bigger.
I think he is going to. I think he's going to box though, bro. Like,
no, but how do you box at? He beat Klitschko at 245 pounds. He's coming up to 280.
Yeah, we'll see though. I mean, again,
I'm telling you,
I want Wilder to win more than anything. Like, I mean, it'd be a nice concession. I mean, it's not like life or death. Like, the damage has kind of like been done.
No, it is life and death. It is his career. Like, this is Wilder has to win.
And my boy Oliver Nunez
just on skill. What is he talking about?
He said Wilder had no chance just on skill. Also, my boy Oliver in the comments.
Is he a Wilder hater?
He's a boxer too. I forgot who you said you trained with. The professional fighter that you said from your gym. Like my boy lives out of Las Vegas though. Oliver Twist. It's my man's. I
really don't care. Like, if people are objective and say, "Oh, from the first fight, I think Fury can box him up," I'm literally not even going to argue that point. But if people are still on this narrative about come forward and heavy and all of this stuff, now granted,
I'm not on that one.
You're not, and Nunez hasn't said it either. But other people I know are, and they're just going to be in for a shock. Me personally, I don't believe in older guys learning all of these new skills and everything like that, even though I've seen it happen in other fights, right? Which is possible. But me personally, I don't think you can teach older people new things. I think the only thing you can do is add on.
In Fury's case or in Wilder's case?
Wilder.
Yeah, I mean, Wilder could beat him just putting on a couple different touches. I mean,
it's just different adjustments. But forget about if they were to ever fight. Forget just breaking the fighters down. Like breaking them down. We know who has advantages where. In general, so it's like, I don't know. It's just.
Yo, Oliver, too, if you want to jump in, man, there's a link.
I think
in the comment section for the it says StreamYard. It's probably the third comment within.
Fury will push, or what I would like to see, because I'm so confident about the result, but Well, I didn't say you're wrong, but a lot of people will, you know, there's a lot of haters, dude, and it's easy not to discriminate.
Yeah, no, there is a. I mean, I'm not gonna like front. Like, there's a lot of extra venom for Wilder. Like, as far as like the YouTube streets, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think he gets like 3 times more than any particular fighter.
Oh yeah, he's the most hated fighter in boxing today.
Yeah, but skill wise, I mean, I just think that Fury's a really bad match for him. I mean, like, if he wins, I mean, I'm gonna be more than happy. But I'm just not 100%.
If he came in light, then I'll say, he's. I think he'll box him up, but he's not coming in light. He wants to come in heavy.
He's saying he wants to come in heavy. He might be fronting. But let me salute to my man Trey X. He says salute Alpha player panel in chat, and salute to you, my brother. The finest voice as far as calling these fights in boxing, period. Not boxing YouTube, boxing worldwide is with us in the comments. Thanks for coming through, Trey X. Watcher, you have anything you wanted to add?
Fuck. I mean, I think Fury's gonna come forward again.
Yeah, that's and he's gonna be looking at himself and he's gonna be like, man, that's bullshit. I want a 4th fight. You know, I could box you up on my worst day. He's gonna stop here. Hey, man, really is, listen, if he says that, I'm not gonna be going back and forth with him about it. He can. I think there is a case for a 4th fight.
I think there isn't. To be honest, Tyrone, like, you know, I don't even think Wilder should have given Fury the 2nd fight. I mean,
I don't think he should have given him the 1st fight.
You know, like, no, I thought that one was okay, but you know, again, I was pushing for the 2nd one. Now looking back, it seems to kind of have flipped on its head. But
yeah, backfired.
I think Fury's going to come
backfired against us.
Once Fury fought somebody else after Wilder, the rematch lost a lot of his luster, and Wilder should have carried on. I mean,
the rematch lost a lot of it. Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
I think the break in between took too much. And I said that I think both of these guys, these fighters, are past their best physical primes. Both of them. It did lose some.
Oh, they got Kownacki and Helenius on the undercard.
Yeah, so that's confirmed now. That's good. I think Kownacki wins his rematch as well.
I hope so, man. I like Kownacki.
I think so.
Oh, Tyrone, you know who Anderson's fighting?
An undefeated Russian guy. Is the guy good? Yeah, I hope he beats him.
Vladimir Tereshkin. I hope this Vladimir guy wins because
that's what I'm saying. I hope he wins too.
Oh, Tereshkin's 22-0. He's a big dude as well. He's bigger.
Wow. He's not gonna win. I'm looking at his face right now.
Yeah, but going back into my another PBC tirade that I just thought about is that
he just looks like a softie.
Like with Wilder's career from the inception. Yeah. I mean, like, you know, there could have been an effort from PBC with their own talent in-house to try to build him up.
Wilder was never with PBC his first 30.
Like once when Martin had the belt, Wilder wasn't with PBC.
Yes. They didn't want to pay the money.
Yeah, I mean, but like now the standard is to like overpay for like some of these fights. Like I think some promotions more than others. I mean, like to per se, like make Jamal happy for fighting Montiel this last fight. They had to go above and be like what that fight.
Look what they do for him. Look what they do for him. I would not want that, man. What do you like if somebody were to say, "Hey, we're gonna give you a bum to fight and this chump change and you're a homecoming and all of this stuff." I don't throw that shit in the trash, man. Give me something good. You know, I want to fight somebody real. I don't want to spend time fighting Montiel.
Real quick, man. With me now, I have one of my homeboys,
I'm gonna get flaky now.
my blood brother, fucking fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of Queens, New York. My dogs, Oliver Twist, bro. How you been, man?
I've been good, man. How about those Mets?
Yeah, I'm gonna
So-
cut this short in a few minutes because of those.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah. Let's stick to the boxing for now.
Yeah, man. Get
Let's
impart us
get
with your
the
thoughts.
Wilder stuff, or the Fury stuff, or whatever.
Yeah, and with me now, in addition to you, Oliver, is my boy Watcher from Australia, and my boy Tyrone Smith from Maryland.
How you
let
guys
us know,
doing?
Oh, all right.
Awesome.
let us know what you think, Ollie.
So, as far as I mean, the first fight, I mean, you could give a solid argument to
I said Fury
idea-
edged it.
that Fury won. I mean, and then the second fight, you know, he made a few adjustments. He just had Wilder on the back foot. And, I mean, you know, we can't really think of, you know, a handful of occasions where he's fought well like that. He's always, when he can throw that right at you, that's his bread and butter. And, you know, Fury just had his number. I personally just think he's much more skilled. He's smarter in the ring. If you look at some of the stuff that he was doing in the second fight, you know, Wilder didn't know what to do. You know, he's putting his weight on him every time he could, getting his like upper back and his legs tired. Easy. This is like, if Fury knew from out the gate, you know, I'm gonna come in weighing 270. You know, I'm gonna do this to him, and he's not gonna know what to do.
No, and I've said that before too. I mean, a lot of people don't really harp on the point, but Fury did know how to get Wilder into the clinches, and Wilder was better off letting the ref take him out of those clinches than trying to fight him. But even that, letting the ref take him off or trying to fight out of it, it did take a lot of energy out of Wilder in the first fight and the second fight.
The first fight, yeah, towards the end.
Yeah.
My big thing is just like it happened with Charlo and Highland. I mean, yeah, Charlo was probably going to beat that guy if that was healthy, but I can't really take anything from somebody who had no legs, who could not move in there.
He's saying what Tyrone's contention is that Wilder looked a lot more fucked up in the second fight.
Move. That's what I think happened,
and I think so too. That Wilder looked like a step off. But my thing is, if Wilder looks a step off, yeah,
100%.
But my thing is what if Wilder, if that step off happened due to age or, you know,
then it's over. If it's if it's due to age or any other physical issue.
Yeah.
So I mean,
you go ahead. Go ahead. No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I mean, when it comes to age, Fury has a 1 year advantage on him.
3.
And 3.
Yes, yeah, 3 years.
And then Fury's I think he's just at the end of what you might call your prime years, which is 32, 33.
I think he's past it because of what he's did to himself outside of the ring. He's past it. The best Fury was going to be the one who was going to fight Hay. That guy's gone.
You know, so, I mean, there's certain things when it comes to, one thing too, is that I strongly believe people underrate Fury's power. People say, oh, he's not a power puncher. When you get hit by a guy that's 265, 275, I mean, he's going to throw, his jab is you know, my overhand right. Come on, let's be real. You know, that you know, you're going to feel it when a guy that heavy hits you. You know, and you could be a heavyweight of 225, 230. This guy has 30 pounds on you. You know, he hits hard. You know, do not listen to the skeptics when it comes to that. Yeah.
No, and another thing too, Fury's style of fighting, that whole fidgety shit, it doesn't look like much, but that's a pain in the ass. For somebody to do that so big for 12 rounds nearly, his feinty movements You have to like
Yeah.
respect it from a heavyweight.
I think the feint stuff is funny. I think it works. It seems to work on.
It looks
on Wilder.
silly. It looks silly, but Wilder.
It's some funny stuff. He did something in the first fight. You have to go back to it. But Wilder did his little stutter step he did against Stavern, who could not move in there either. Who wasn't in shape either, that second fight. And
Trey
Fury immediately did another stutter step and laughed. I started laughing. I was like, he said, listen, I'm not Stavern, basically. When he did the same step. You have to watch the first fight to see it, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah, Treyek said heavyweights age better than other weight classes. I think Wilder just started believing in his power and stopped training as hard and learning. Absolutely. I think so, and I hope that that's not going to be the case in this fight, but the fact that he picked Malik Scott as his coach scares the shit out of me because Malik Scott doesn't have he's going to fuck around with Malik Scott,
I think
he means business.
I think the issue, right, with him improving did not start now or a couple years ago. This has been going on since Breland came onto the team. Possibly. I don't think because he did not improve. He didn't. I don't think he put in the effort to push Wilder to improve because people talk about Wilder stubborn, whatever. No, might be now. Yes, maybe now. But nobody's stubborn coming off of a Budweiser truck. That's a blank canvas. And if you draw a shitty picture, that means you're a shitty artist.
Yeah, facts.
I'll say when it
Breland did not do enough.
It's one thing to kind of look at the media and to say that, but they're seeing each other every day, and let's say we're in Mark Breland's position, right? And how long was he training Wilder for?
Well, how long he was part of the team? Watcher can tell you. Watcher knows people in Wilder's team. This has been happening for years. Breland not coming to practice, Breland not showing up, people letting giving Coach Cuz the pads. This has been happening since before he won the title, before 2015.
Yeah,
I didn't know any of that stuff.
So I think a lot of people protect Breland too much. I'm not saying even Shelly Finkel said Wilder hasn't been training until now. What he needed to do, which, okay, I understand that. But I think Breland was just a shit coach from jump. From 08, 09. Because if you look at Wilder in the amateurs and Wilder now, is there really a major difference? Like a difference that you're just going to say, wow, look at this guy? No, not really, no.
I think that's probably a double-edged sword, though. It's not all Breland. It could be Buddy McGirt in his corner or somebody else, and he's not really gonna change. He's gonna do what he wants to do. And sure, yeah, you see, with having said that, you see Malik Scott in his corner, and you see him doing different things in the social media, and that's good. I mean, I like technical fighters. I'm a big fan of that. Real scientific type of fighters. But in my honest opinion, after fatigue sets in, a few rounds into the fight, in this next fight with Fury, he's just going to revert back to the same thing. What he knows already is trying to awkwardly land a big right hand. He's not going to be able to keep up these things because they're too new to him. He got 30 fights doing the same thing. Over 30 fights, doing the same thing. And I don't think he's really going to change that. It might rock for like a round or two, but like I said, fatigue starts kicking in. He starts getting hit a few times by Fury. Fury starts putting his weight on him again. He's going to go back to what he knows.
If I was Wilder, I'm not losing to a guy with a fupa. That's not going down. No way.
No,
I'd rather retire.
The whole shirt off. A lot of people.
Anthony Joshua probably said the same thing.
Yeah, a lot of people were dissing like Fury for having the shirt off in the weigh-in. That kind of like concerned me, like being a Wilder fan, because if he didn't throw on a massive amount of weight already, I don't think he's gonna go in severely overweight. I think he's gonna be big, But
Needs to come in lighter and box. I really think if he really believes this coming forward stuff, it's going to backfire. I'm telling you, he's going to
let
walk
me
into
read.
something.
Let me read.
A lot of people have listen. This whole stuff about coming forward to beat Wilder is not new. A lot of other fighters doing it now. Granted, they're not amazing fighters. Fury is not an amazing fighter either. I don't think any of these heavyweights are all that. I think people need to stop saying that one person is head and shoulders above everybody else. It's not true at all. All of them have their flaws, and all of them can lose. It's proven. A draw is nobody here is completely undefeated. You either have a draw or loss or something like that. All of these guys. But
Let me read through the comments real quick. My bad, bro. Boxing Learner, thanks for coming through. He said Helenius may win with that fight with him and Kalinacki. I hope.
I don't think so. I think Kalinacki wins that fight.
But Trey X also said Wilder also started boxing at age 19. He's a constant work in progress. No, I do agree with you. And at one point, a lot of times that we saw Wilder fighting, they did look like he was improving, especially like as you
I didn't think the first Stiverne win was as
his best fight.
It's not hard. It's not hard to go out there and just put out a jab when you're 6'7" and the other guy is 6'1.5". That was not enough for me to see like a mega difference. People said, "Oh, look at how technical he was in that fight." Not really. He just put out he made it really easy. I mean, did you guys see anything that blew your hair back in the first Stiverne fight? Like honestly,
I mean, like at that time, Stiverne
was right, and no,
he wasn't like that dude. But it was a step up in competition for Wilder. I mean, but Stiverne was Stiverne a better heavyweight or bigger impact in the heavyweight world at that time than what Dillian Whyte is at the heavyweight world at this time? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So for Wilder to beat him in the fashion that he did, I mean, like, we were all like,
yeah, but people tried to say he was so technical in that fight.
Well, he's more technical than the Fury fight. So.
That's the most technical I've ever seen Wilder. Excuse me. To be honest, he was using his legs. He was moving laterally. He was pumping the jab. He was making good use of the jab. I mean, did he box his ears off? Like he didn't like light Stiverne up per se. But he did show more boxing skill in that than what I typically see of Wilder.
Yeah, I think, like you said, you just compared it to how you usually see. I'm not comparing that performance to himself. I'm more comparing it to all the other performances I've seen. When you compare it to other fighters who really, really box, their ears off in other fights, then it's totally different. But it looks major compared to him in other fights. For me, I just saw somebody, like you said, moving laterally and sticking the jab out, because Stiverne had an issue with the height. I think Stiverne, we saw it, Stiverne with guys closer to his height. I mean, at his time, look at the Areola fights. They were great fights.
Yeah, I agree with. Well, one thing though, I think that version of Wilder would be a lot better than any version of Wilder that's fought Fury in the two fights, especially the second. But even in the first fight, if Wilder fought the same way against Stiverne, even though it was a smaller man, but just using the lateral movement and choosing to use his legs.
That only works on a small guy, though.
No, but you got to move around.
Chance.
Yeah, and when you look at Wilder throwing his left hand in both fights, it's like he's flailing, like he's putting no thought into it. And Wilder got to like move around in the ring a little bit more than he does. Like you can't keep your legs like a bow and waiting for something to happen, because that's not boxing. It's kind of like just waiting on a good punch. But Trey X said Wilder stayed disciplined for 12 rounds against Stiverne. I thought that was fairly impressive. I did too. Lala D said I'm back. Lala D said Trey X, what it do? Yeah, but what? Like Wilder does have to step it up. He has to do something else for this fight. I mean, again, like, will Malik Scott add that? I hope.
I'm not gonna sit here, like me and L, we were talking about it your last live stream. I know Watcher might disagree, but listen, this is a must-win fight. Back's against the wall now, and everybody is against you. What does he really do if he loses this fight? If
Fury
I'm
or Wilder?
Wilder, there's no point to continue. I'm not going to be 36 years old trying to scratch my way back up to title shot. Fuck that shit, man. I have made plenty of money, and if I lost to a guy with a fupa, I'm off this shit, man. Fuck that. I don't want to deal with this shit no more. Fuck it.
I personally think that there's
Right,
still
retire.
fights out there for Wilder, even if he loses. There's going to be guys that he can line up and knock out. And
But
people
that's
will pay to see
that's nothing. Like, this is for people, not even me. I don't even care about, with him, it's not really boxing for me. It's just about the person. I'm looking at him, and it's sad. I don't even know the man. I think of him. I'm looking at him as if he was like my family member. Like, why would I line up to knock out White or Charles Martin? Guys, the media will not give you credit for. Let's be real. It's just for our little entertainment, our sick entertainment, to see him knock those bums out.
It's money in his pocket too, and let's be real.
Does it do anything for his legacy?
You move up. I mean, you move up in the tax bracket. Your expenses go up. You buy a nicer car. You buy a nicer house. And then you got to maintain these things afterwards. Yeah, I'm sure he'll take a fight if it means that he's going to make good money, and he has good management behind him.
Does it do any? It does nothing for his legacy. It does nothing to the fans. The fans still hate him. He's the most hated fighter in boxing today. They're going to take away credit from his win anyway. I mean, I'm telling you what will happen. Like, this is a fact. Like, if he fights those guys, Charles Martin or White, Ruiz, nobody will give him credit anyway. It's just money. It's just money. And I don't see him as the type of person to do that. If he does something like that, it would disappoint me. But if I'm in his shoes, if I'm not fighting at the top level, I'm not about to be 36 years old and start working at Burger King again, man. That's not going down.
Neither is Wilder. He ain't trying to do that. I mean, he's not going to go to barber college after this. He's going to keep fighting.
Yeah, but those guys are really a step down, or a big step down. And if you can't beat the guys right now, the top guys right now, what's there to prove? What's there to continue? To hope that AJ beats Fury and you beat AJ and they'll make...
Well,
yeah,
look,
I think differently, dude. If I can't beat what's in front of me now, I'm not going to think to do a U-turn and get around this and do that. No, my thing is to go through all my obstacles.
And I mean, real quick before you jump in, Lolly, but no, I was going to say, like, Wilder losing at this stage would be similar to Pacquiao losing to Mayweather when they lost. And Pacquiao is still the guy who all these welterweights, fucking damn them all, are killing themselves to fight here in 2021. So, I mean, Wilder's still going to have that kind of a draw. Will it be as big as Pacquiao? Maybe not. But, like, I mean, he's still going to be able to draw money. Do I give a shit about him drawing money, like, in the grand scheme of things? Not really. I mean, like, but
for his family, absolutely, I do.
Yeah. I mean, no, I'm not going to say, like, I wouldn't watch the fights outright. But it's just it is a step down. I mean, but it's still I don't think he's gonna be bumming it out like with the
yeah. I have Wilder beating Fury this time too. But I'm thinking about it from me. L knows me. He knows how old I am and what I basically do.
Yeah.
But,
She Lala D said, "Oh my God, that's what I was." My bad. I'll let you go after this comment.
No, L knows my mindset, right? All right. You know, I'm not going to run and hide or if I lose, I'm one of those guys who's just going to keep banging my head against the wall until I finally get it. I'm not going to sit here and avoid something if I've already put my mind to it and I put so much effort and time and money into this.
Yeah. Let me read Lala D's comment. I'm going to let Oliver go, and then I want you to cook on it too, Watcher, if you have anything to say. But oh my god, what was I thinking? AJ beat Fury, then Wilder beat AJ would be reason to stick around. But I have Wilder beating Fury this time. I hope that happens too. But go ahead, Oliver. Let us know what you think, and then watch it.
So, I mean, just to put a little perspective on it, the only guy that Wilder has lost to is Fury. I mean, and then, you go back in time, you'll see some of these great fighters got 8 losses on their record or 7. I mean, granted, they did have 120 fights and whatnot, but, we're talking, there's one guy he lost to. That's no reason to end your career. If you got some good years left, that guy could still make $5 million in one night at least. That's on the low end. I'm lowballing there, but that guy could easily make $5 million a night. Being a PBC fighter, he could do it. There's no reason to not do that. To do something else. Maybe commentate. Stay in the boxing atmosphere.
This is just,
But like I said, he ain't going to barber college.
I mean, it really, it is. I think if he loses, he might go down my route of thinking. You've got to think, though. You've got to be in his shoes. If you were, or if you felt you were somewhere, and you drop all the way down here, what's the point? Fury is not a god, and he's not unbeatable. You showed you could basically knock him out, and if it doesn't happen, and things don't go your way, what's the point to continue and fucking pander to fans who don't respect you at all, the media who doesn't respect you, a shot you'll probably never get? It's just, it's on borrowed time. There's no point.
What about you, Watcher? You have anything to add to it?
It's like, I think about like Carmelo. It's exactly like Carmelo. For Carmelo to beg like that to get back in the NBA when he had a stellar career.
Let Watcher cook though. What do you think, Watcher?
Yeah. For me, Wilder's beating Fury. See, I don't think forward like that, like of the what ifs. I'm kind of, I live in the present moment. Tyrone here is very passionate about Wilder. You can hear it in his voice.
I don't think about him like a boxer. All these other guys think about him like a boxer.
There we go.
It's really embarrassing for me to sit here and think about somebody that I don't know as a family member. That's pretty embarrassing. But still.
No, it's not. I mean, I'm a freaking. I can't explain how much of a fan I am. I agree with some of the points he made. But would it be over if he lost? I can't speak on that. We gotta wait till.
What do you think?
That's when I can make a proper assessment. But yeah, I just can't freaking wait for it. I really can't.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up after this though, but I think there is gonna be life for Wilder after this. Even if he loses, but I mean, and he could fight boxing again, or he could fight fucking celebrity matches like these fucking whole ass boxers are doing. But it's just, I mean, if he wins, I mean, or if he loses, you're gonna get a bit of a kind of crappier boxing matches, but it's a difference of fighting Francis and Ngannou in these crossover matches that I hate, or watching him fight against my man Oliver Twist's favorite rapper, Freddie Fox. But with that, bro, I'm gonna wrap it. I'm gonna wrap it up.
Who my favorite rapper is.
But with that, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thanks for everybody who came through in the comments. Trey X, Lala D, Boxing Learner. And if I didn't mention you, my bad. But Watcher, let the people know where we can find you. And thanks for coming through again.
You can find me at Watcher Boxing. Just put that in, and I should be the first channel up. If not, YouTube is gonna have problems with me.
Yeah, you have more subs than all of us too.
I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding.
Yeah, Tyrone, let the people know where we could find you.
I don't really do content really as much as I never really did it that much to begin with, but There's TS Boxing on YouTube, yo. It'll probably find me if he loses this third fight. I'm off the heavyweight division now. I hate Fury. I hate Fury. He's not all that at all. None of them are. And anybody who knows that is just
respect that
listening to media. We have the proof. We have videotape to show that he's not that good. None of these guys are. It's just so frustrating, man. It's really frustrating.
And Oliver, where we should be finding you in the future is on the Foul Play Land with the Foul Player, bro. Like, but thanks for coming through, man.
Hey,
like,
I'm down to come back anytime, bro.
And and I'm gonna start doing more political shit too. So it's good to have motherfuckers from the hood like me and you who are big Trump guys, bro. Trump fucking MAGA gang, bro. Like from the hood, bro. Like
Trump forever.
Ain't no snodges on this side. Fucking thanks for coming through though again, man. Like fucking and you're more than welcome to jump on.
Absolutely.
I'll text you next time before I even get on. But again, that's my 2 cents. And thank you for everybody for stepping in the Foul Play Land with your boy. And with that, I'm out. Peace.
Peace out.